So, there's a problem. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Tarnished. The most recent patch has done a lot to the game, and it fixed a lot of, quite frankly, literally broken interactions that were never intended. But in doing so, has unleashed, well, a new breed of broken upon us. So, Carian Retaliation, a simple concept. You parry a spell before it hits you, and in return, convert the energy of the glintstone into 3 floating swords, and then send them back at the mage that assailed you. Very, very cool, right? There's even a normal spell version. However, the patch buffed the effectiveness of shield, which translates to buffing the effectiveness of shield Ashes of War. And a side effect of this has essentially meant that this particular Ashes of War has gotten an order of magnitude more powerful, more than it ever was intended to be, because I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to be one-shotting bosses with a single spell parry. So first and foremost, here's a comparison. So, using the Ashes of War, we get the spell parry, and it obliterates the sorcerer with 900 damage, which is tiny compared to what we'll be doing, but stay with me. If I use the actual spell version, with a plus 10 Lusats, by the way, it doesn't even kill the enemy. It does like 300 damage. So you see the difference here. You see that there is something not quite right. So here I am once more to do 2 things. Spread awareness of this existence so that it can get fixed in the next patch, and 2, hopefully help you guys understand what might be happening to you in PvP recently, where you're seemingly getting one-shot by nothing out of nowhere. Because these retaliatory blades are invisible to other players. Seriously.
But why? Why?
The damage then of this scales with your shield's damage, which means you want to upgrade your shield. The best shield for it is this already int scaling shield, because pump your int for even more damage, that you get from the mini-boss before Ranella in the Raya Academy. The actual Ashes of War is from a merchant that you can find past the manor over near the 3 Sisters. You drop down back into it, and you find him in a building. Whether it's dead or alive will be depending on where you are in your playthrough, but that's easy enough. And all of this wouldn't be too bad if you still actually had to parry a spell, because then at least it is a counter, right? But no, of course you can trigger it yourself comfortably by just cracking open a Glintstone Scrap, which you can infinitely purchase from the Maiden Huss after handing in the first Smithing Stone Miner's Bell from the end of this dungeon. So you can only carry 10 of them, which means you can only do this 10 times per grace, which in PvE is still obviously incredibly helpful. I mean, 10 shots of this is going to kill most bosses, as you're seeing it do. Even against something ultra endgame with a metric ton of health like the Great Worm here, the 10 shots were comfortably enough to kill it, and I'm playing incredibly sloppily. I'm getting hit, I'm just doing this, but you barely have to put in any effort because it's just use the item, parry the glowing orbs in the air, and then let apocalypse rain upon thine foes. It's really just ridiculous, and I honestly think this might be worse than the Death Blight build-up bug, because at least that you can see it coming, but the fact this is invisible is silly. Of course, I will be submitting evidence of this in the footage and the explanation to FromSoft/Bandai, so we can get it actually, looked at, because, yeah, it's not supposed to be doing this much damage, and even if it's supposed to be doing this much damage, it's not supposed to be invisible. You're supposed to be able to dodge it. I apologize profusely to the poor man in this clip, but you don't even need to target your enemy. It just auto one-shot this poor dude as I was walking past looking for him to see how effective this was in PvP. And then this other guy, it just obliterated from 2,000 health. These are the only 2 instances of PvP I've done against someone that I didn't know, that I didn't warn what I was testing. This was before I realized they were invisible. As soon as I learnt that, yeah, no way in hell am I going to do this or perpetrate this bullshit, because that's what it is. But in PvE, it's quite fun, to be fair. It's a nice little interaction, and certainly something speedrunners are looking into and using to get the lowest time possible, as it's quite a low investment to high damage output with this Scrap plus Ashes of War on Shield combination. In any case, though, that is essentially it. You can do 3 to 5k damage a blast per Glintstone Scrap per parry as you progress through the game, and you don't really have to put much effort into doing so. This needs spreading, the awareness needs heightening, and just like last time, when I made a couple videos highlighting really game-ruining bugs, they do get fixed as those did as well. I think the actual concept here is incredible. It just needs to A, not be randomly invisible to players, and B, not do such damage that it's essentially a one-shot to most things you use it against. It needs to be brought in line with the actual spell version. So there you go, everybody. I hope this was eye-opening, and for those of you that do want to go out and use it, please don't use it in PvP. Just please don't. It's not cool, is it? It's not fun. It's just kinda, I mean, what are you gaining? Hollow victory after hollow victory. In PvE, however, I mean, have fun, right? It's an interesting way to kill bosses, and it's a single-player game outside of PvP, so go nuts. In any case, thought you'd all find this interesting. Like if you enjoyed this, subscribe and hit the bell for more tips, tricks, builds, guides, funny bits, up-to-date hotness on the Elden Ring community. You know how it be. Please consider supporting the future of this channel on Patreon down below, and until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.